Hey, before I kick off the podcast, I just want to shout out Next Door Clothing. Next Door, a clothing brand based out of Bondi in Sydney. They're making really nice jeans and shirts and hats. So go and check out their full range at nextdoorsydney.com. They're also artists, so you can go and check out a range of art. They put on rad parties, and I love what they're doing. So nextdoorsydney.com for the full range.
I'm having a good time.
You are?
Yeah.
I can tell.
We are rolling too.
Terrible Happy Talks. Terrible Happy Talks. Terrible Happy Talks. Terrible Happy Talks. Today's guest is Phil Stoodley. Phil is a musician, producer and traveller. His nomadic nature has opened up his world, allowing him to travel from stage to stage with a guitar in hand or just jumping borders with a map and a whim and a desire to fill pages with fresh creativity. This has driven him for the better part of his life. Phil's early path as a musician was forged touring across New Zealand, both on stage in various bands and off stage working in music production. The early 2000s saw him touring the UK, Europe, the US and Asia as a session player for one of New Zealand's best loved and multi-platinum selling bands, The Feelers, which led to a number of successful musical ventures including Phil's own rock band Stoodley, and the opening slot for international bands including Velvet Revolver, Simple Minds and the legendary Neil Finn. Over the years, Phil's recognition grew with his debut single Waiting for Thursday, a self-produced album No Surprise, and his work as a co-writer and producer for Hannah Grace's debut album Concrete Roses and single In the Rain, along with compositions for TV, film and commercials. 2012 saw the EP release of the electronic project Shaker Zulu, Funking Bell, a collaboration project with New Zealand's piano keys extraordinaire Andy Keys. In mid-2012, Phil travelled extensively around Southeast Asia, India and Australia, performing, writing and adding weight to his already heavy pack of experience, using his time in these exotic locations to film music videos. Phil moved to Bali in 2015, where he quickly established his position as one of the top entertainers on the island, performing at top venues and collaborating with some of Bali's most respected musicians. Phil has since been busy with Indonesia-based music projects, releasing singles and videos and forming a fresh lineup for electronic project Shaker Zulu. He also co-founded the Bali Rooftop, where we've recorded podcasts in the past with Athron and the beautiful Kaimata, a startup project that promotes Indonesian artists and touring artists performing in Bali. It is a non-profit collaborative effort with a simple aim to give all musicians an equal platform to promote their music against what is an incredible Bali backdrop. Phil currently performs in Japan, Singapore, Melbourne and his homeland New Zealand for numerous events and festivals and continues to solidify his stamp on the music scene internationally. Stay tuned for a new EP from Phil, drawing on his old school rock roots, which we'll talk about today. But in the meantime, Phil Stoodley, welcome.
Welcome.
How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. Yeah.
It's a long one.
Yeah.
Dude, you've done so much, man. Like,
well, I'm getting old, so
you look good.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, it's a Bali lifestyle, I think, maybe.
It is.
Yeah.
How do you slot in on a day to day? Like, what's a day to day Bali life for you like? Like, what does it look like as a musician?
I get out of bed when I want and do what I want. And then eat what I want, then go to my gig, and then go to bed when I want.
When you say go to your gig, are you getting a regular gigs around Bali?
Yeah, a high season. You're sort of looking at coming out to four to 5 gigs a week. Could be even more, but
wow.
I try to keep it to 4 to 5 because it can burn you out creatively a little bit. So I like to have a bit of time off so I can work on my own projects and stuff. Yeah.
Do you have an agent in Bali? Is that how it works? Or is it just because you've built a reputation and you've got relationships with various venues?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's a pretty small island, so word gets around. You have the ups and downs, you know, you got your high season and your low season. But yeah, when work's getting low, you just put the word around. With the weddings, I do a lot of weddings, and so you get to know a lot of the agents and stuff like that, and you get a relationship with them, and so that can roll in pretty easy.
You start to become like a go-to.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call myself the wedding singer, but I do a couple a month. You know, I mean, I've got another friend here, Lydia, that she's like the. She's like the queen of weddings. That's full time, like 3 or 4 weddings a week. Yeah, it's insane. But
I guess like as an artist and a musician, I mean, you have to pay the bills. There's no
totally
doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever feel conflicted in terms of, being a sellout? Like, you're not a sellout, but like,
totally. I am selling out. I am 100% selling out. I'm selling my soul every night. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, because I play covers. Yeah, right. At a lot of these gigs, I play my originals sometimes. Most of the time, I'll try and slot in a few, throw in a few. But I'm selling out, but I'm paying the bills. And
selling out to pay the rent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's not selling out. I think I asked Athron the same question because I guess you have to have a pragmatic approach because otherwise you can't sustain your creative avenues as well. Is that right? Yeah.
I could just get a regular full-time job and then do my original stuff when I get home from work, but then I don't know. I think it drains you out a little bit. A lot of people I know that have full-time jobs, when you get home, you just want to relax in front of the TV and do nothing. So.
Like, at what stage, like, was there a moment in your life when you just made that decision and said, this is the direction I'm going? The 9 to 5's not for me.
I decided that pretty early in life, like when I was in my teens, I think.
Yeah.
So, by the age of 17, 18, I think there was no other choice. That was it. I was like, nah, this is all I want to do. So I decided at a very early age. Yeah.
So where did you grow up?
A little town called Palmerston North. I get a lot of shit from it.
Why?
It's just a little suburban town. I think when I was growing up, there's about 70,000 people. At university town. It's just not a lot going on. I mean, it's a cute little town, but it's just boring. There's not a lot to do there. I'd maybe put it that way, but it's bred a lot of really, really good musicians. So so that's that little town, Palmerston North. It's just above Wellington. If people who don't know, that's the capital of New Zealand. So so that's where I grew up for most of right through my teens, and early 20s. I moved to Auckland, New Zealand.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So what age did you first pick up a musical instrument?
I started tinkering on the piano when I was really just trying to remember. Maybe I was about 10 years old, but it was just neighbours or friends and stuff. And then Mum was like, because I just picked up melodies by ear. So Mum brought a cheap little stand-up piano and brought it into the house and started getting lessons, but I hated lessons. I got a handful of lessons, and it was just like, my brain just couldn't compute. So I kind of regret that now, because if I kept it up, I'd be awesome. But that was very short-lived. That didn't last long, and then nothing happened for a long time. And then high school, I think I was 16 when I picked up the guitar and started probably sort of playing around with it.
Yeah. It's interesting because I feel like the most creative types, whether they are musicians or business people, I often hear them say that, doing that traditional path of learning a certain way and being programmed a certain way just didn't work for them. And then you've just said it again. It just sort of reinforces to me that sometimes it could stifle creativity. But did it give you the foundations for what you needed with your music? The lessons?
What do you mean? The
music lessons?
Oh, music. Well, I didn't get music lessons. Well, you mean? When I was younger. It was. Yeah. Well, I didn't get enough to actually learn much. I mean, I've maybe got a handful of lessons. Like, I'm talking about maybe 6 lessons before I was just like, I was just like, my brain, I think I was just a little bit hyperactive as a kid and stuff. So, yeah, might as well flush all those lessons down the toilet because nothing really stayed in. So, I got a couple of guitar lessons when I was in my teens, but dominantly, I've learned by ear and jamming with other musicians and stuff like that. So it's all self-taught, really.
Who were some of your influences when you were growing up as a young music wannabe? Did you have friends or brothers that were into music, or a music teacher that was really influential?
More. I had a couple of mates. I was fortunate enough to, when I think I was 17, I came across some guys that were jamming at a local rehearsal space, and we sort of formed a band. And fortunately, all those guys were way better than me, and that's how you get better. You start jamming with people that are better than you, and then I learned from them.
Just adapted.
Just adapted. Yeah, and you're like, oh, holy shit, how do you play that? And it's just like, one of my good friends to this day, Shane Madsen, he taught me a lot of stuff. He could play lead. He had this beautiful Les Paul Gibson custom guitar, and he used to shred it and play metal and stuff. And so, he was definitely a bit of a mentor growing up. He was way more advanced than any of us 17-year-old kids messing around. So, so it's just learning from your friends that are better than you.
And just the passion of it. So growing up in a small town like Palmerston, I can identify with you there because I grew up in a really small town in Australia, at similar size, coastal town, aesthetically beautiful, but sort of low socioeconomic, a lot of unemployment.
Yeah,
but
totally.
It does lend to giving you a lot of time to do the things that you are interested in and love. So totally. That's what I personally really liked about it. How would you describe your childhood though? Living in a small town, was there feelings of isolation, frustration, couldn't wait to get out of there, those sort of vibes?
I couldn't wait to get out. I had 3 older brothers, so there's always something going on at the house, playing cricket in the backyard, or just roaming the streets throwing stones at cars, or just whatever, getting into trouble, lighting fires, or I don't know. Having older brothers, it was definitely, there's always something going on, always a bit of mischief and stuff. So
it was like an enjoyable childhood.
I think it was pretty enjoyable, and then just thinking, but I think when I got into my 20s, that was when I was starting to outgrow this small town, and I was just like, I need to get out of here. But when I was playing professionally in covers bands, I wasn't in Palmy very often. We're always out of town playing in Wellington, Gisborne. So I was only in town during the week.
Gotcha.
On my nights off. So
you were. How far were you from Auckland when you were in Palmerston?
That's a long way away, so that's a good 7-hour drive.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you just moved there by yourself or with friends, or away from the family?
At the time, I had a girlfriend, and she was from Auckland, and she was studying down in Palmerston North at vet school, and she was moving back up there, and she said, Phil, my band just broke up. I really had nothing to do. We wrapped up the business. And she said, Phil, you're a big fish in a small pond, dare I say it, and you should get your ass up to Auckland. And I just saw the opportunity, and I was like, okay, let's do it. So I packed up my wagon and chucked my cat in the car with my guitars.
Did you really bring your cat?
Yeah, I brought my cat and just cruised up to Auckland, and
and I love that. Do you feel were you getting gigs straight away?
No, definitely not. I was on the dole. I was very poor. I was at my girlfriend, staying at my girlfriend's place, which were on the rocks, and I think we'd pretty much broken up. So I was heartbroken, but I knew I had to stay there because I couldn't go back home. There was nothing, I had to move forward. And so I think I actually got into doing a bit of film work, extras, doing extras. So at the time when I was there, that's when Xena Warrior Princess and Hercules was massive. So so I signed up with an agent, and I had really long hair, straight long hair down on my arse. So I got so much work as being a centaur.
No way.
I was a centaur once. I had to put a big prosthetic ass on. I was laying in a pit of despair, of carnage. I don't know. And I was chained to a wall one time and Lucy Lawless and Kevin Smith were in the cell next to me. And I was chained to a wall and just I've been at the gates of hell, lining up. So
as a centaur?
No. This was just I was a slave going into hell on Hercules, I think. So they pay good money. I mean, it was like a couple of $100 a day.
Yeah, I've done extra work.
Yeah. And I kind of went into it as well as like I wanted to do music videos, and so I wanted to see the process. And back then they were shooting film 35mm. So so I was watching how everything was being done, and director, second AD, first AD, and all that sort of stuff. And it was good to know, and it helped me later on when I was doing my own music videos. It was definitely a big learning curve on that. Yeah.
You kind of like, look, this is the kind of scene I want to be in, and this is a good way to get started. And
totally. And I was living with actors at the time as well, so and they just got out of drama school and they were starting to work on films and stuff like that. So I was actually immersed with more actors than musicians when I moved to Auckland. So a lot of these actors now, they're very successful and they're doing films and Hollywood films and stuff like that. So I had hardly any muso friends. They're all actors.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
But you're definitely living in a creative space.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
very creative. The house we're in, we're right in Ponsonby. A beautiful little old villa house, and with a couple of musos. None of us worked. We just get up in the morning, go down the road and drink coffee for a few hours. And
it's great. But I really do believe you need that space to be creative.
Yeah.
That time. Like
surround yourself. And
being bored is often the birth of creativity, isn't it?
Being bored in the right environment, I think.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. Not being bored sitting around smoking bongs all day.
Yeah, playing Doom.
Which is pretty much what I did when I was unemployed. Yeah.
Well, that's all right if it's short term, but it's not a long term plan.
Snapped out of it.
Yeah, totally,
yeah. It's when you wake up 20 years later and
that can be like I remember being in a flat one time, and that's when Doom first came out, PlayStation.
Yeah.
And everyone would just smoke pot, close the curtains, and just Doom it. All I could hear when I go to bed was
dude.
Whoa. And these guys did this
not healthy
non-stop, and I wasn't really a pot smoker, so it's just like these guys would just get blazed and just play that. That's all where it's at, but fortunately these guys all got good jobs now and families and kids, and they've grown up.
Well, yeah, and you got to go through those phases,
totally.
But like I said, I'm like you, I'm from a small town, and I see some of my old friends that I grew up with who maybe got stuck in it a little bit too long,
Got deep in the hole.
But also you had a passion, and I feel like people that seem to have a passion are able to pull themselves out of it because they've got something to get out of bed for and something to inspire them.
Well, you still got to be careful because like the industry I was in, like you're around alcohol, a lot of alcohol, and there's drugs as well. But alcohol's, I mean, I've had my fair share of alcohol, trust me. So you got to be careful of that because, like, obviously at my gigs, you always got a bar tab, and so you could drink 4 or 5 nights a week if you want. I mean, it's very scary. Like at the moment, I've taken time off, so I'm taking 6 months off the booze and cigarettes.
How are you feeling?
Feeling great. Yeah. So this is my 5th month. Just having a break.
What prompted that?
Well, I usually every year I'll take a month off. Maybe 2 months, and just to have a break because of my lifestyle. And what are we doing there? Oh yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, no worries, man.
My little tag's falling off.
It's
all good. I'm stepping up my props.
We got a wardrobe fail. Wardrobe.
Where's my prop guy? Fix that prop.
Where's the fluffer?
Yeah.
Oh, what was I talking about? I forgot.
Yeah, so I was like, you said you've decided to take, a bit of break from the grog. But what sorry, let's go back to it again.
Yeah, sure.
What sort of led to it? Were you just a little bit sick and tired of being sick and tired, or was it? Yeah,
it's a bit of that. I mean, So every year I'll take time off anyway. I'll take a month off or whatever. I think I went a little bit hard when I was in Japan this year. So I go back every year, like 6 weeks of the year and just play a bit of music and just snowboard. And the whiskey, the local whiskey, Centauri whiskey, and the beer and sake is so good. Like, yeah, and I just walked out of there just like, yeah, my liver really is hating me right now, and I just need a break. And I landed in Bali, slid into Bali straight into another party, and I was just like, right, I need to take a break for a while. And I'm one of these social smokers. I smoke a lot when I'm drinking. Yeah, I mean during the day not really, and I was like, I need to knock these on the head, man. This is really not good for me. So this is, as I say, every year I take a little bit of time off, but this is the longest I've done, and it's been really nice and refreshing. And my brain, it feels like it's firing on more neurons, and I'm more creative. Actually, I'm getting way more creativities flowing in, and so I'm loving it.
Yeah. I also think too, because you're physically healthier.
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, alcohol seems to just really batter your immune system.
It's a depressant, so I get lazy. So if I got a hangover, I'm like, I got Netflix. Netflix.
And what do you eat when you're hungover?
What's that?
When you're hungover, you just want to eat like bad food.
Well, in Indonesia, we've got Gojek. So you got the app. It's like Uber Eats, but it's like $1 or $2. You just type in what you want, and the guy turns up on a scooter.
It's dangerous 24 hours a day.
Oh, mate, me and Atheron, we're the same. We're in the same place. And so when we're both drinking at the same time, like the Gojeks are coming in and out of this place all day, every day. And Netflix is just rolling over. I've been in the hole quite a few days, Netflix days and Gojeks.
Yeah. And you said like your creativity isn't like really firing at the moment.
Oh, totally, massive.
I really believe that you need to be physically fit to keep up with creativity as well.
And I try to keep fit. I try and get to the gym a few days a week, just do a bit of swimming and just get the blood going. I'm not a hardcore gym bunny, but I'm not getting any younger, and so like, so playing gigs 4 to 5 nights a week in Bali, which could be considered maybe the party capital of the world. You could party here 7 nights a week. 100%. It's New Year's every night, every day. Like when it is New Year's here in Bali, I don't go out. I go to a friend's place and we have a few beers there or something. But it's a party island. But I don't really go out much, to be honest. Here, once in a while, I might get a day club.
Has the novelty worn off in terms of that stuff?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I've done years of partying, so I haven't missed out on anything. Once in a while, I'll go out with a good group of friends, and we'll go to a shitty nightclub in Kuta, or we'll, and have a night on it. And but I'm not missing out on anything. I'm still enjoying life. Yeah.
I mean, I'm the same. I got to that point. Yeah, I don't drink, and I just got to the point where it was just pretty much the same result every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the nights do become very similar.
It's Groundhog Day.
It is.
Groundhog.
Yeah. But then when I don't drink, I don't know what to expect.
More shit happens. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, you say yes to more things.
Yep.
It's like Yes Man, the movie, right? I mean, when I'm drinking,
I'm working on that too. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, you're working your days around your hangovers. You're like, oh, hey, mate, can I catch up in the morning for da-da-da? Yeah, I'm going to have a hangover that day. Can we do it in the afternoon? I mean, that's not having a 9-to-5 job. Lifestyle choices, yeah.
Yeah, and like it's interesting that you manage, you're wary of it and you manage it,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so did you transition from high school to university, or didn't go to
uni?
No, it just wasn't for you.
It just didn't even compute. It wasn't even on the cards for me.
Yeah.
I started playing in bars when I was still at high school, and it was just an easy transition to carry on. Just playing music. I had no thought to go to university, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't either till I was about 25.
Right.
That's when I first went to uni, and it was because I was at a point where, I actually felt inspired to do something very specific.
Well, you know what you want.
Yes,
yeah,
but it took me from the age of leaving school at 17, 18, through to literally 25 before it clicked. But and I don't regret those years in between at all.
Well, a lot of people, I got a lot of friends that have got degrees and they paid so much money out the yin-yang and they're still in debt to this day.
It's disgusting.
And most of the ones, the degrees that they started with, they changed their mind halfway through, or at the end of it, they're like, I don't want to do this. So it was a waste of fucking time. So maybe that whole thing of maybe wait until you're a little bit older to know what you want. I mean, but some of these people, they're still in debt to this day, and they're on there. It's
such bullshit.
Should be free.
Well, I mean, it really should be free because, they want to keep the economy turning with these tertiary educated people, but then they want to enslave them. Yeah. In large amounts of debt.
Well, I think the way technology is going in the future, whether it's in the next decade, all education is going to be free. I mean, it has to pretty much is. I mean, you look at third world countries where you can pick up a cheap little laptop, and the little village kid, if you can get power, you got Google, and that's the most powerful dictionary and encyclopedia in the world, and they can teach themselves. And there's so much free online content,
and online courses.
Totally, and there's so much free stuff out there. So I think in the future, it's definitely going to be way cheaper or free. And it should be free, especially for third world countries and stuff like that, because education is power, right?
Absolutely. So, and they really want to learn. They really do it. They value education. Yeah, I feel like in Australia, because it's free and have a really good standard, to be honest, it's not appreciated. In fact, it's kind of like people feel entitled, and really, it's such a privilege.
Oh, totally, yeah. Even growing up, you just don't think about it. Fuck school.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, and so you were in Auckland, playing gigs through your 20s, cover bands, writing your own music, like on that trajectory.
Well, I dominantly pre-Auckland. I played a lot of bands for years and years on the road, paying the hard fucking dues, like getting home at 4 a.m,
respect, man,
stomach full of pies, feeling like shit, hungover, and started businesses. I think the last band I was in was called the Baby Shakers. yeah, not very.
I've got to know, what was the genre of music for the Baby Shakers?
It was just a covers band, but we played a lot of sort of rock. Top 40, Ma Sharona, stuff like that, and just, I don't know who came up with that name. It's a harsh name. Their poster had a baby sitting on a bar top, and it had the tap beers, and it didn't. The name was like breast milk, cow's milk. It had a cartoon. It was a cartoon. It was It's not very PC, but it was a good band, man. We got a massive loan. We bought a sound system, a trailer, a van, lighting rig. It was just a 3-piece. It was hard work, and that was back in the day where sound systems were huge. They were not as light as they are these days. So you're lugging this big thing around. We were full business, man. We were like paying taxes and working for ourselves, but paying the man. And but that was the last full band I was in. And when I moved to Auckland, that's when I went solo acoustic, and I was like, shit, this is less work and more money. So
Did you feel confident then? Like you were ready to confidently go out by yourself? Yeah,
I think so. Because I didn't want to be a lead singer, but I got pushed into it because I was always a rhythm guitarist, backup singer, and then the Baby Shakers, I got pushed into it. I remember the guys were like, let's start a band, and then we walk into the rehearsal room. They're like, right, Phil, you're the singer, and I'm like, what? No, I'm not. And they're like, yes, you are. I'm like, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. And I'm like, sorry, we'll help you. Like, you're a good singer. We can work through this. So that was my learning curve. That was, and thanks to Duncan and Zane for pushing me into that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here now, singing. So, so they pushed me into it. That was kind of my training ground. And then by the time I got to Auckland, I was like, okay, I think I can do this solo. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that would take a lot of courage.
Yeah. I mean, it's. Yeah, being a front man, you don't really want to have too many insecurities.
Yeah, and I mean, you've really got nowhere to hide.
No.
Yeah.
you're very, very exposed, and you can't be a mouse on the microphone. So, and I am a pretty shy person. If I'm at a party, I'm not going to walk up to be, hey, I'm in the house. Look at me.
Would you describe yourself as an introvert or an extrovert?
Yeah, introvert. But I've had to, especially through school, like I was very much an introvert. But I think if it wasn't for music's definitely brought my personality out, and it forced me to interact with people more. And I mean, I'm a bit of a hermit. I'd love to just sit in my bedroom and just like fuck people. I'm just gonna do my own thing. But I had to push myself to get out of the house sometimes and just hang out with people and talk and
and being a solo musician, like you've really challenged yourself in that respect.
Totally.
Because I don't have a musical background at all. I love music. I enjoy music. Are you getting sunburnt there, bro?
I am. I think.
Do you want to I was like, I'd hate that if you got sunburnt.
Yeah. My neck.
Oh, bro.
Just burny neck. Yeah,
You're
I'll move around. I think that's better, eh?
I think it's better.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're good.
Right.
There you go. You're back. You're back.
Burny back. Burny neck. I'll get to my gig and put my guitar on, and it's just like all the skin will just rip off my neck.
Yeah, because like I said, I don't have a musician or a musical background, but I love music, and I've always been very drawn to musicians. Like even with the podcast, I just feel myself wanting to talk to musicians. But for me personally, one of my deepest fears would be standing in front of a crowd of people singing, just with a microphone.
Yeah,
I just would find that like the possible, judgment or possible ridicule or negative feedback, I think would just really crush my like self-esteem.
I still feel that.
I was going to say, do you still feel that? And if you do, how do you cope with it?
Yeah, I mean, my covers gigs, I don't feel it as much because it's like work. I mean, I go in there and do it all the time. So I'm pretty confident that I can pull off pretty much 99.9% of those sort of gigs, if any situation. But if I'm playing my original music, and if there's a bunch of musicians in the room, especially when you've got musicians standing at the bar with the arms folded looking, it's like, oh, fuck you guys. Yeah. So you'd still get the intimidation. I think it's more if I'm playing an original gig because it's a bit more precious, and it's like, shit, this is my music. Are they going to like it? Are they going to enjoy it? So, yeah.
And you're exposing yourself to a degree because you're putting your thoughts and ideas down on paper, and then verbalizing them publicly. Yeah, that would be really intimidating, man.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
But as well, if you're a musician, if you're well rehearsed, if you know the music, if you got everything down, that lowers all the insecurities and stuff. If you don't know, it's like probably any job, if you're a school teacher, right? So if you don't have your lesson plans down, or if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you walk into a class, you're gonna freak out.
You've done the work.
Yeah,
the prep work.
I have gone to some gigs where I'm like, oh fuck, I should have rehearsed a little bit more for this. It's just like you get through it, or you stagger through it, but it's like, I gotta go back and workshop.
Do you ever surprise yourself though and go, I didn't prepare well, and then it's a good gig?
Oh, totally. That happens all the time. I mean, music's like that. Sometimes you're just in the zone and shit just, I go, okay, that was a really good gig. And I felt like you might have had a cold, or you might have felt sick, or you might have been hungover. But usually in those states, you're just so like not giving a shit to say you're hungover or you're not feeling well.
Sure.
And though I've had a lot of gigs there where they've just been so good because you're relaxed. You're right there.
Not overthinking.
No, because you're just like, oh my God, just let it be gone and over. And it ends up being a really good gig because you're just not overthinking stuff. And
What about when you sing karaoke? How do you feel then?
I fucking hate it. Yeah.
You hate karaoke?
I fucking hate it.
I thought you'd love karaoke.
Nah, I mean, I've a couple of times I've done it in Tokyo this year and Singapore, actually, funny enough. But as with a couple of mates, bottle of vodka, drunk face in a private room, you're not even singing, you're just barking at the screen like some Bon Jovi song. So and that's your last memory, and then your last memory is waking up in a cab somewhere. But I'm not really a fan of karaoke, to be honest.
Really?
Nah. I mean, if you're drunk, it can be kind of fun, but You definitely need to be well lubricated to. Yeah.
I did it in Tokyo with my brother, and we're in this you get your own room.
Yeah, I did the same.
And then they were bringing jugs of beer in,
Yeah.
and that was included in the package. And you just pick up this phone,
Yeah.
and just more beer,
Yeah.
and then someone brings, and literally I remember I sort of blinked, we went in there at 9 o'clock at night. Blinked and it was 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It was just a time capsule
I
or
did
something.
I did the same, and I think it was March. I was there, and I was with a couple of mates, and the package deal is everything included for 2 hours or whatever it is. So it's just you're pushing this button or whatever it is, and it's just we've got drinks. Let's just order more anyway, and it's just insane. Yeah, and you do. You blink, and it's well, you look at your photos the next day, and it's shit. That was 4 a.m. What? What's going on?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What's your go-to karaoke song? Come on, you must have one.
I mean, I don't do it enough to really. What did I do last night?
So you did it last night.
I had to. It was my friend's birthday. So.
Oh yeah. In Bali.
In Bali, yeah.
Where's the karaoke place in Bali? I don't even know.
I can't remember. It's somewhere in Denpasar.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a few of them, but yeah, they got private rooms and stuff. But I think I did Wham. Is it Wham? Last Christmas?
Last Christmas.
Yeah. That's kind of fun because everybody sings. You pick something that everyone sings along. If you pick something that only you like and no one else, you're just gonna let the whole room down. So
yeah.
But I picked the song, and then straight away someone was like, "Oh, I want to do it," and they grabbed the mic off me, so I didn't even get singing anyway. So yeah,
it's funny.
But I just finished a gig, so I was happy not to sing. I was I've just been singing for 3 hours, and now I have to come and listen to you pricks fucking barking at a screen full of fucking
It's funny,
Yeah.
So it was a good night.
Yeah, it was an interesting night. Yeah.
What was that?
Well, I kind of dodged the bullet on this one. I woke up this morning, I slept in, and I had all these missed calls, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And a good mate of mine that was there was like, dude, we're at the cop station.
What?
We're not going to make it for your gig tomorrow. And I was like, what the this is a joke, because everyone does this in Bali. Everyone jokes come and get me at the cop station. And then so basically what happened is just I won't go into any names or any places. So I don't think we need to go there.
Keep it legal.
You keep it legal. But no, there was nothing dodgy going on. I mean, I think I left just after midnight, and I think they just got stormed by a bunch of police, thinking that there was illicit things going on in there, which there was nothing going on there. I mean, these are older people. These are people in there 40 plus, 40 to 60, and they're just drinking bottles of vodka and just screaming into microphones. But maybe it was just, I don't know. So they searched everyone, found nothing at all. But they're like, okay, we're going to test you, so we're going to take you down to the station. This is probably 2 a.m.
Are they just looking for bribes?
On a Friday night. Could be.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
You don't want to make that accusation.
I don't want to make that. I know nothing. Could be though.
In Bali, I don't believe it. In Bali,
not in Bali. No, not. But yeah, so they took. This is about 3 a.m. on Friday night, and they're like, "Well, we're gonna test you, drug test you," and this is like 12 people. 12 normal people. Friends flew in from England, Australia, and I said, "Oh well, we can't test you till Monday until the lab's open." So they got to detain these fuckers for
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
So they're in jail for the weekend.
Well, I found out. I was messaged my mate, and they're held up in a hotel, so they're probably underguarded a hotel. And I feel sorry for these guys because they're just drinking some alcohol, getting drunk, and that was it. It's just unfortunate. I was very fortunate. I missed them by about an hour, but so me and my flatmate had to go over to the house and pick up underwear and toothbrush and
Oh man,
mental, mate, mental. So I mean, this is Bali. It's full of surprises, man.
Yeah. So you've been in Bali for how many years now?
About 4 years now.
4 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, when I hear that story, I've heard similar.
Yeah.
And
worse endings as well. Way worse endings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it is a developing country, and I mean, you just see those differences all the time in terms of, I guess, injustice and lack of professionalism. I mean, how have you adapted to it over the years? I mean, do you just take it in your stride? Do you just, how does it, because I sometimes for example, the roads here.
Yeah.
Zero road rules.
Nah.
But there's an etiquette there.
Yeah.
That you learn.
Yeah.
And you sort of adapt to it. But then there's just some days I'm just like, oh man, if someone else pulls out in front of me.
You get those days where it's just like, I'm going to get off the road now because Bali wants to kill me.
Yeah.
Like, I've had those days where it's like, okay,
wants to kill me.
Yeah, well,
it's true.
I've had those days where it's like, okay, you always have just about head-ons every time you go out, but you kind of you go off the flow, but I've had days where it's like, okay, I've just about had 3 or 4 head-ons. People passing a person
around a blind
corner, yeah. And I'm just like, right, I'm going to take my bike home, and I'm not going to go out because sometimes the island is it's like this living entity that is.
do you believe that? Because I hear a lot of people say, oh, there's an energy in Bali, and
it just seems there seems to be something. I don't know. There's something there. It's alive, and it. I don't know, yeah. I guess I've never lived on a small island like this before, but
yeah, likewise.
There seems to be there definitely is an energy there. I've heard of people like Bali everything goes wrong. I've met people, everything goes wrong for them in Bali.
Yes.
And no matter what they do, no matter how hard they work, it's just the energy's against them and they don't last long. And then other people, it's like works well. Then other people they've left Bali. They're like, all right, I've had enough, and Bali's pulled them back.
Yeah.
and it's and I've talked to spiritual people, non-spiritual people, and everyone's got a similar thing about Bali that's lived here. They said it's something alive. It's a she or something.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it described as juju. The juju.
Oh, juju. That's is that a Japanese word? Got the juju.
I thought it had.
Got the Jew?
I thought it was actually Balinese, like the spirit energy here. They call it the juju.
Juju, yeah.
Like, my friend says it to me all the time, like when we go surfing, he's like, oh, the juju's bad today, man. We should go in.
Is that like karma, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And I must admit, I have days where I'm just like, the juju's bad. I've almost been killed twice on the motorbike. Yeah. Someone's just yelled at me. Yeah. I'm just going to go home. I'm not going to make eye contact with anyone.
Exactly.
But
and anyone that's lived in Bali for a long time, when someone says that to you, like, fuck, Bali's out to get me today, you're like, yes.
Believe it.
Yeah, I nod my head and go, I concur.
You now concur.
I concur.
I didn't concur at first, but I now concur.
I totally get it, yeah.
So has Bali been good? Does Bali want you?
Yeah.
Why do you feel that way?
Well, I was very, very fortunate to get here. I was living in Melbourne at the time. This is back in 2015, I think. I was living in South Melbourne, and I was just playing a few gigs around town. I was playing regularly at the Crown Casino and a few other gigs, and working part-time as a bartender, as you do, on the Yarra, the Yarra River.
Great.
And
great spot.
At a cool little bar, or big bar, called the Boat Builders Yard. It's like the biggest outdoor bar in Melbourne at the time. Yeah. And Athron McCann, one of your friends, and my flatmate. So he messaged me and said, look, I'm going on a road trip for 6 months around America. Do you want my gigs? Do you want to,
Wow.
Set you up, take the room, take the gigs, take everything, bar the girlfriend. But it took me about 2 seconds to go, okay. So nothing was really holding me in Melbourne. I love Melbourne. It's one of my favourite spots. But So within a few months we sussed out the visa, everything, and had all my bags packed, and I flew into Bali and went straight to the Orchard Bar. Yep. Met Mr. G, the head, the owner of the place, and had a shot of tequila as soon as I walked in, and I was like, welcome to Bali, this is it, this is happening.
And it's just been all...
And it's been all good since then.
Easy sailing since?
So Athron left about a week later, and I just slipped into, I think I had about 4 regular gigs, three or 4. Yep. But within a few weeks or a month, it wasn't long, and then I was turning down gigs. Like I was playing 5 nights a week. It got up to 6, and I was like, nah, fuck, I need a couple of days off. Bali's treated me. I've been very fortunate. It's treated me super well. Yeah. And I about halfway through that 6-month stint, I was like, shit, I want to live here. This is pretty good. So I emailed Athron while I was travelling on and said, hey man, would you mind if I hung my hat here for a little while? And he was like, yeah man, let's do this. We can work together on this. Nice. So yeah.
He wasn't like, hey, back off, buddy.
Well-
Don't come over here and steal all my fucking gigs and shit.
Well, I was prepared for that, and I was like, I understand this isn't my gig, and it's a small island, so that's why. Yeah, I sent the message, go, hey man, I totally understand if it's no go. I'll go back to Melbourne or whatever. But he's such a nice guy, and he was very giving, and and said, let's do this.
Yeah, man.
There's enough work.
And it sounds like you've travelled fairly extensively around the world as well.
Yeah, mainly.
Is it just to travel?
Yeah.
Just to see the world?
Well, I left New Zealand in 2012. Just packed up all my shit, sold my car, and went travelling for 12 months with my girlfriend at the time. Backpacked all through Southeast Asia for 6 months, and then 6 months in India. So I took a whole year off. So that was a lot of travelling. That was amazing, 10, 12 months. So most of my travels has been through Asia. I've done a little bit of Europe and America, but most of it. And a lot of it prior to my backpacking days. A lot of it was through music, which I was very fortunate to get.
Yeah. I think Australia is very similar. We feel this real desire as young people to backpack and travel.
Yeah. I didn't have that growing up though.
I
didn't have that. Nah, I didn't have that growing up.
I had it from as early as I could remember, and then as soon as I got to my early 20s, I was off.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a very poor family, so there wasn't a lot of travelling going on. There wasn't. If you got on an aeroplane, it's like, whoa, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
aeroplane,
it's a big deal,
or travelling overseas, it just wasn't even in the cards.
So where was the desire born for you?
I don't know, because I've got 3 older brothers, and they've done really well. They've got good jobs, they've got a family, they've got a house. They've done the sort of the stable thing, and which is great. And I'm the youngest, I'm the baby, so and I was the one that just fired off in a different direction.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that travelling bug came from. I think the first time I travelled overseas was early 2000s to Hong Kong with the band The Feelers.
Wow.
So and it was a free trip. It was like, yeah, man, do you want to come? Our guitarist can't make it. Do you want to come with us? We're doing a festival.
Wow.
Yeah. So and that was my first little, oh shit, this is a free ticket to go.
Doing what I love.
Flights, and that was amazing. And then a couple of years later, they're like, hey, we need a guitarist for this European tour, American tour, do you want to do it? And I was like, hell yeah, this is a free holiday. So
get out.
So we flew straight into Heathrow, and we went in through Europe, Czech Republic, and Switzerland, and Austria. We were meant to play the Viper Room in America on the way back, but that
would have been legendary.
Yeah, I was so bummed out. It fell through, but I ended up staying in Hollywood for a few more weeks. I had some mates in the hills, and on Venice Beach.
The hills, as in like Beverly Hills,
the
hills,
Hollywood Hills. Yeah,
Hollywood Hills.
Yeah,
that's still
cool,
like
mate.
The real rich area.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mix.
Okay.
I think, yeah, but it's very nice. And I had a mate living right on Venice Beach, so you walk.
Amazing.
I mean, it was just a simple apartment. It wasn't anything major flash, but and you walk out of this balcony, you can see Muscle Beach right there. So you go out at sunset. You can grab a big drippy pizza and a lemonade, and you can walk down to Santa Monica, and oh mate,
the vibe.
Yeah, the vibe was great. I loved
the vibe
it
down there.
Cali, man. I haven't been back there for a long time, but I loved it. So I think that's where my bug came from. From the Feelers, they gave me a couple of opportunities to travel for free.
How did you hook up with them? Originally, were they advertising for a guitarist? And
nah, it's just they're friends of mine. So it's just and we used to party together a lot. And James Reed, the singer, is a good friend of mine, and the same as Hamish G, the drummer. So we used to party a lot. Me and James used to play quite a lot of gigs together. Get the acoustics out, and we'll do some shows and stuff like that. So we've got a bit of history, playing live and recording and stuff. So yeah, it was just I was very fortunate. He asked me to come along, and oh mate, it was your rock and roll tour.
I was going to say, you play gigs at night, and I know you would have some expectations on you and some pressure, but there'd be a fair bit of downtime as well, correct? Or
you mean in general now? Or
well, no, when you did that tour.
Let's go back
to the tour. Was there some downtime, and you're in other, new countries every second night and stuff like that?
Yeah, it was a funny tour. we're on the road, travelling on the autobahn, just fucking going 200 miles an hour
It's
with all the
crazy,
gear.
yeah.
Oh man, I just about shit my pants. You know, you're going 250k on the autobahn and a van full of gear and dudes, and you're like,
wow,
this is doing. And then a Porsche, like it goes
like you're not moving.
Yeah,
yeah. I remember that. I was on the autobahn, and we were sitting on 150 k's an hour, which was pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
I'll never forget this motorbike overtook us like we were standing still.
Yeah,
like he would have been pushing 300 k's or something stupid. Like I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's nuts, man.
I guess it's a good fast way to get from A to B.
Yeah, yeah, but there was some. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of playing, packing up, jumping in the van. Either hitting the road straight away or go to sleep, get up on the road again. But yeah, then there was a bit of downtime. I think it was a bit dangerous actually. We're in London and we're staying just around the corner from Soho, and we had there was 10 days of downtime. Like someone fucked up in the tour. Like I think we were meant to go to Scotland and play some gigs or something, and it fell through. So I was something I can't remember, but it was like a week to 10 days of downtime. So me and the drummer, like Hamish, we're in this hotel room just going, what do we do? Oh, well, we're just going to party and drink. And and that's our hotel room was just a fucking mess. And just walking into Soho every night, just bottle of red wine in the hand. It was very rock and roll. And I mean, at the end of that tour, man, I was ruined. I was totally ruined because it was, especially going through Europe, you know, you're just drinking so much good beer. And but I was,
What did you learn from that tour?
What I learned?
I mean,
how to kill brain cells with alcohol.
What about musically? Like, did it teach you about professionalism? Did it teach you about, you know, how to tour, how to be organised, how to play different venues and different gigs? Like, was there any learning from it?
I learned it was hard, really hard fucking work.
Hard work, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can get different tours where we didn't have a road manager, so that made a big difference. When you got a road manager, it's just like you can just don't have to stress. So it was done a little bit more budget, this one, so it was a little bit more stress. But I learned it's hard. It is hard work, and you got to grind it in. And I'm not sure what I sort of. It was very rock and roll tour, so I was very numb.
Well, that might be learning in itself. Like.
Yeah, I mean, it maybe to hold back some nights before you got a big gig the next day. There was one point where we were in Switzerland and we're opening up for Velvet Revolver, and thousands of people. Yeah, and there's thousands.
Is that at a festival or
festival was Winter Turn, I think the way you pronounce it.
Yeah,
it was outside in this beautiful big. Surrounded by big outdoor gig, and it was I don't know, 10,000 people maybe.
Amazing.
And I was so hungover. We partied so much the night before, just loads and loads of beer and wine, I think it was, and I was so bad. I was just my body was shaking. You know, at that point where it's like
I know that feeling.
Poison myself, and I was sitting up on stage and sound checked, and I'm like, fuck, I can't do this. And Hamish, the drummer, is just like, listen to your doctor. All right, listen to your doctor. And he just lined up 5 beers on my amp.
Yeah, right,
he goes, right, just scull as many of these as you can.
Yeah.
And I think I sculled about 3. I got to the 4th one and sipped it, and that was an awesome fucking gig.
Yeah, right.
But I couldn't have gotten through it because I was just medicating myself basically.
Well, and it works.
It works. But
but it's also the good way to become an alcoholic.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, it was definitely, if I was going to take anything away from a tour, it's just like you can burn out very quickly on a tour. And I mean, you can get away with it, but I can see how these bands that are touring every year can just lose their whole life, drowned in drugs or alcohol or stuff like that. So
it's just such a cliche for musos and bands.
It is, but you get, the thing is you get given, or you're backstage and these are, you know, a rider full of just all the alcohol and food you want, then these after parties, and you know, and you don't have to drink that, you don't have to take that, you don't.
But is the temptation just too great?
I guess it can be. I mean, but it's all, if you get used to doing that all the time, then you'll do it. You know, it's like I've just taken 5 months off the booze and cigarettes, and And I still go out and hang out with my mates, and they'll be drinking and go out and see bands. And I don't want to be one of those soft cocks that are like, I'm not drinking, I'm going home early. So
I struggle with that too.
Yeah, so I'll smash a few cappuccinos just to give me an edge. But I don't get the urge to do a couple of shots. I'm just like, no, I'm fine. I mean, it's just like because I've broken that habit for a little while, you know. So,
but is it still an enjoyable night out for you?
It can be, but to be honest, I mean, drinking's fun, man. It fun.
Is.
It lubricates.
Man, I've had some great times.
Softens up the frontal lobe, and you just have conversations you'd never have conversations about if you're sober.
But are they real conversations?
They can. It depends how much alcohol you've had. Like if you've medicated just the right amount, you can have really good conversations. Then it gets that tipping point at 2 or 3 in the morning where you've had a couple of too many tequila shots, and then it just turns into just blah.
And, I mean, that's one thing I'm noticing in my sobriety, because I haven't had a drink in almost 7 years.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, brother. But in the first few years, I was just really like removing myself from those kind of environments.
Yeah, that helps, definitely.
Just because I had to, because like you just said, drinking's fun, and I like to have fun. I do. And
but if you got a real drinking problem, like an alcoholic, or a drug addict, especially drug addicts or alcoholics, you can't be around those people. You know, you have to separate yourself. I mean, I'd consider myself a form of an alcoholic. Maybe there's different categories. I'm at the lighter end.
Why?
But I'm not as much where I can actually just stop at cold turkey, and I'm not going to get the shakes. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can say no when you want to say no.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But I can go overboard just as easily as well. You know.
Drop a hat.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Yeah, like for me, it was very much like I just didn't want to be in that environment anymore. And then as the years
it's called growing up, mate.
Well, I mean, it is. You know, like it hit me at 35. I just went.
Wow.
I'm 42 now, and I just went.
Yeah.
I just can't keep doing it. Like I started when I was 12. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, like just, and then it just progressively, and like I said, man, like it's not even in a bad way. Like I had some amazing times, but I was towards the end there. I was getting sick a lot, and I just felt unwell.
Yeah, well, that's
constantly.
That's where I was getting to, where it's like, especially in Bali, it's hot all the time.
Oh,
so you wake up and you don't want
too easy.
You got a hangover. You don't want to go outside. You just want to flick the AC on.
AC.
And just keep cool.
Netflix,
Gojek, and just chill. So, but it does. I mean, even just having, as you get older, you don't bounce back. So you could just have 2 or 3 wines, and the next day you're like, ooh, I can feel those little wines.
You can feel them.
Yeah.
And then now I still, I mean, I socialise. I still like to socialise, but there's been a lot of times where I've gone out to, you know, parties, weddings, even nightclubs, and stayed out all night just because it was a good night. But the one thing I'm finding, just this lack of tolerance. Like I watch my friends have a few drinks, and then after 2 or 3 drinks, I feel like the shit talking starts.
And, yes.
And I never ever noticed it.
Yeah, I noticed.
And I was that guy, and they'd be in my ear, and they're spitting all over me, and
I know.
And they're talking about some stuff that's so, to them, seems so deep.
Yeah.
And I'm just going.
It's not deep, mate.
And I'm just going.
There's nothing deep about this.
That's fun. Or I just know they're bullshitting because I know them. Like that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But that was me. That was exactly me. And that's the one aspect of it. I was just like, God, like that was such bullshit conversations.
Well, that's when it's time to go home. I gauge it on.
But I noticed it early in the night too.
I gauge it on. Okay, you repeat yourself 3 times. That's time for me to go.
I get the point. Yeah. I get it.
Because I've gone out a few times with friends, and I'll stay out as late as I can. I still actually can have a good night. I just drink some sugar water and get silly.
Have a Red Bull.
Have a Red Bull.
Red Bull, no vodka, thanks.
Yeah. A Red Bull actually works well on me because I don't. They just kick my ass. It's like woo.
Yeah.
But
caffeine sensitive.
Yeah. But no, I think it's the taurine or something in it that gets
the sugar and the taurine.
Yeah, the sugar. Yeah, because I can drink coffee and go to bed. I'm fine.
Yeah.
But I think it was the first couple of months this year. I had my sobriety, and I was like, went out for dinner with mates, and normally had some friends in from out of town. Normally we'll go to Bob's Taco Beach and we'll just load up some sangrias and tacos and just get fuck-faced, and it's great fun. And I was
sure.
by midnight, I was just going, I can't do this. Everyone's just like cuddling, tops off. I mean, this is great. I would have been amongst that. I would have been with them on, but I was just like, I turned to one of them and said, I'm going home. And just walked off.
Yeah.
It was like, but I'm not judging them. They were having a lot of fun, but I was just like,
well, that's what I do now when I go out. I see that the night's getting loose. I don't say goodbye anymore.
No.
I just throw a smoke bomb.
Yeah, smoke bomb. Houdini, mate.
Houdini.
Yeah.
And no one even knows I'm gone.
No, they don't.
And also you can sort of ruin their vibe by going,
totally.
I'm going now, guys. And they'll go,
Don't go.
You going?
Yeah.
You going? Where are you going?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Well, I did that last night. I pulled a Houdini last night. I just grabbed the birthday girl and pulled her aside and said, I love you. I've got to go. You guys are too fucked face for me. So, and she's like, thanks for coming. Cool. And then they're all in the police station. So I dodged their bullet.
But seriously, don't joke. Like, there's that old saying, nothing good happens after midnight.
Yeah.
It's so fucking true. And look at that. Like, this is a prime example. Like, you dodged that bullet.
Massively,
how shit would your day be today? Like,
well, I had another mate. My mate, I'll keep names out of it. Had another mate. I was messaging him today, and he said he left. And as he was walking down the stairs, the cops were running up the stairs.
Fuck.
So he even dodged the bullet. That was even closer to him. Yeah. So it's just more of an inconvenience for these guys.
And I'm sure it's going to cost them some money because they'll have to be.
They can't go to work. These flights, people got to fly back, and it sucks. But it's Bali. You don't have any rights, mate. As soon as you set your foot on the soil in Bali, you have no rights.
Well, what I've learned, and I never really thought about it like this, but when you live here, you're a minority.
Yeah.
You're part of a minority group.
Yeah.
Whereas in our home countries, we're not. Yeah. So it's given me a little bit more empathy for migrants in Australia.
Sure.
Because, I feel like a minority, like day to day, you get treated like a foreigner.
You get bulle prices.
Bulle prices.
So like if I go to the markets, depending on where you go, for people that don't know, bulle is Westerner. In Bahasa, So I remember going to the market one time down the road from me in Kerobokan, and I went to get some fruit. And I said, how much is this fruit per kg? She said, X amount. Okay, how much is this? I was pointing to all of them, and I said to her, so it's all the same price per kg for every single piece of fruit and vegetable? Yes. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And she goes, some of them. And I was like, and I said, look, no bulle price, please. I live in Bali. Can you please just give me a standard price? And she's like, I was like, this all can't be the same. I said, goodbye.
It just wears me down.
It does. I mean, I don't mind paying a little bit extra. It doesn't bother me. But when they're totally taking the piss and they're charging you 5 times the amount, I was like, I won't tolerate that.
I mean, do you speak Bahasa Indonesia?
Sedikit. Tidak bagus
ya. I'm working on it. I actually take lessons, and I've found it helps a little bit, but they still don't care. It means that stigma that if you're a Westerner, you're rich.
It is. You're an ATM machine, basically.
I get it to an extent.
Sure. I can empathise, and as I said, I don't mind paying a little bit more, and I always tip. And if I'm haggling for something and I get it for a really good price, I might even say, you know what, here's a bit extra. You still got to pay rent on this place, or stuff like that. But when they're totally taking the piss, when they're slapping a 500% markup on whatever, I'm like, see it. I won't even haggle. I'm like, goodbye.
Come on.
Yeah.
I know. Here's a deep question for you.
Yeah.
Living abroad, traveling. How would you describe the changes as a person because of these experiences?
Definitely in Bali, I've learnt patience. Patience is a really big thing that I've noticed.
Think you're more patient?
100% more, especially on the roads. I notice in Bali when you come to an intersection, and because there's no rules, sometimes you get these massive traffic jams. And you look around at the locals, no one's really tooting their horns. Everyone's got a smile on their face.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's like in India, when I was in India, everyone's tooting, everybody. And it's like, what's the point? But here in Bali, everyone's pretty patient. So that's a big thing I learned here is, and when you go somewhere, like especially, you're going out to order some food or something, there's always an order's going to get wrong, or they're going to forget to bring you food or something. And
every
single time. And it's like, I'm not going to be that Westerner going, I can't believe this. I'm going to go on TripAdvisor and that. And it's just like, it is what it is. It is what it is.
I'm going to go on TripAdvisor. Isn't that a sign of the times that we live in?
Yeah, totally.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to ruin you on the internet.
And you can.
Because you fucked up my nazi goreng.
That $1.50 I'm paying for this meal, I'm not happy.
It's weird times we live in, bro.
It is. So definitely Bali, I think that's a big one.
So more patience, more tolerance?
More tolerance. I mean, I've always been a fairly patient person, but I'm even more patient now. It's like if someone cuts me off in Bali, I don't even think about it. It doesn't bother me. Or because if you cut off a local on your bike by accident, they just look at you like, yeah, whatever.
They expect it.
Yeah. But in the Western world, someone's going to jump out with a knife or a gun and kill you. You don't get road rage much here, which is another thing.
Mate, I've talked about this with a few people, that tolerance and that sort of etiquette that's emerged here with no road rules, and the kindness I see on the roads. Like, people let you in most of the time. If you pull out, it's no thing. No. But like you said, in Australia and New Zealand, out where we're from, with all the rules and the laws and the manicured, roads and the markers and the signs, but the sheer level of aggression that occurs on the road, I think road rage is one of the best markers for how sick a society is. There you go. Like, I just thought of that then. Like, it is. It's in Australia. I mean, God, if you change lanes and you don't indicate early enough, you'll have someone like sitting on your ass abusing you. Like, road rage is just this phenomenon that I just cannot get my head around. And I've done it. I do it. I don't do it here, but I use, and
back home, if I accidentally cut someone off and someone screamed at me, I've seen enough stuff on the internet to go, you know what, I'm just going to let it go. Just let it slide. And because the thing is, if you do the fingers back to them or if you yell at them, you don't know what they're going to do. People are capable. I've seen people on the internet, they jump out of the car, smash your window, drag you out of. So it's best. You know what, you call me a name, it's no big deal.
Call me a name.
Yeah, I can live with that. Yeah. My life will still go on.
Although I do like the fist out the window. Not a finger. You don't give me a middle finger, just a shake of the fist. Yeah. And that's it.
That's old school though, isn't it?
Old school.
The old man. Like, get you young people.
I guess what I do now, and I don't know if this is a good thing to do because I think it provokes more anger, but if I piss someone off and they're angry at me and they're losing their mind, I put my hand out the window and throw like a shaka, the shaka?
Oh, yeah.
Like aloha.
Yeah.
And I think it just confuses people. Like, is he angry or is he just like being a smart ass, or is he actually cool about it? I don't know.
I've done the thumbs up. Yeah. So you've been a bit more like, good on you, mate.
Good on you.
Yeah, good on you.
A bit of sarcasm.
Yeah. And if they get it, they might go, you got me. Yeah. Or be like, you prick. Because you're being nice about it,
Yeah.
People, like angry people, hate people being nice to them.
And that's a good point, because I think you can kill them with kindness.
Yeah,
love. I like to surf.
Love will prevail, as Elon Musk is famous quote on Joe Rogan. Love will prevail, or love will...
Did Elon Musk say that?
Something like that.
On Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan said, if you get a quote or something, he said, love...
Wasn't he stoned on that podcast?
Yeah, they sparked up a spliff. Apparently his shares plummeted as soon as he smoked that spliff, but it plummeted for like 48 hours and then it spiked after that. So it was like, I would have been buying up large when it went down. Yeah, shit.
Yeah, and I mean, that guy is super creative. I mean, and there's a real correlation between cannabis use and creativity.
Totally, yeah.
You can't deny it. Musicians have been doing it for years.
Yeah, totally. But no, marijuana's been around for tens of thousands of years. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think people getting high have been getting high for centuries, mate.
They have. I mean, don't get me started on why. Like, I mean, I don't use any substances, but I do feel that cannabis and marijuana need to be legalized. It's
safer than alcohol. It's way safer than alcohol.
Safer. It's got so many medicinal benefits. It can be used in the production of so many different products. Yeah. Environmentally friendly. Yeah. And also, it removes a black market.
Yeah,
and
100%.
And creates revenue for countries and governments.
You know, Henry.
I don't get it.
Henry Ford built his first bumper for his cars out of hemp, right? And it was so strong and robust because it didn't break, so people were hitting each other and bouncing off. So they had to actually make it out of a harder plastic. Or a plastic, so it actually broke.
So it crumbled.
Yeah, it crumbled. Yeah, because like the hemp was so strong. It's like
crazy.
Yeah, because like hemp, you can make bricks, plastic, paper. I mean, it's an alien plant.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
it's fun. Take the getting high out of the way. If you push that way out of the way, it could save the rainforest. Like if you just
Oh, I mean, and even in the States now that they've made it legal in California and Colorado, it's now given them more leeway to research and develop it more. I mean,
research is king.
Yeah, and then they've developed the CBD oil where they take the THC out of it, so there's no high associated.
Definitely.
And it's like an anti-inflammatory, painkiller, anti-nausea.
Well, I've got a couple of friends that suffer massively from anxiety and depression.
Okay.
And they've got the little pump that you spray under your tongue.
Of CBD?
Yeah. And these are people that have been on meds, hardcore pharmaceuticals, and they said, this shit works.
Right.
When they're having a panic attack, they can feel it coming on. They'll put a couple of sprays under their tongue.
Wow.
And they can feel it like subside, but it's still CBD, even though there's nothing psychoactive inside it, it's still illegal in certain countries. So like, I've got friends in New Zealand, they get it smuggled in so they can use it so they don't kill themselves. You know, it's it's crazy. Yeah, it's mental, yeah.
But they want to be like, but they're prescribed by, modern doctors, these chemically enhanced drugs that are made in laboratories and are highly addictive.
Yeah, totally. Oh, look at Oxycontin. I mean, that's a massive one. And the company that brought in Oxycontin and that made all the drugs, all the money out of it, I think they've even designed another drug to get you off Oxycontin. So they're making money off their first investment. It's like, fuck you guys. Fuck you. So it's like, get everyone addicted and then find a cure for that addiction. It's just like,
it's sick. I actually, on the podcast, I had a doctor on here, Dr. Changa, top level doctor. He's actually an advisor to the World Health Organization, so he's worked in modern medicine for many years, highly respected, and he was telling me a story, and now he's actually gone the other way. So he's still a highly respected doctor, advises the World Health Organization, but is now really into alternative therapies as a means for more sustainable medical practices. And he made a really interesting point. He said when he was a practicing GP, especially in his early days, and didn't have the reputation that he has now, he would get reprimanded by the hospital that he worked at for not writing enough prescriptions. Yeah. And he said it was at that moment, he said, there's something wrong with this system. The system's completely broken.
Yeah, well,
it's being governed by these companies,
Well, they want people to be sick. It's the same as the prison system in America, where it's privatised. So
is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of it's privatised, so it's in their best interest to keep people in prison. So these guys are...
I did not know that.
It's insane. So
I thought it'd be the opposite.
No. So I don't. Not all of them are privatised, but a lot of them are against legalisation of marijuana for that. Because they want to keep people in prison. They want people to get busted with marijuana so they can... Because they're making money. They're making millions and millions of dollars a year from privatisation of
See, I didn't know
prison.
That.
So these people that are still in prison now to this day in states that it's legal for marijuana and that they are incarcerated from selling weed or smoking weed or whatever, and they're still there. It's like, the world's upside down, mate, and shit don't make sense in some areas.
Yeah. I mean, I go through these phases where I hear stuff like that and I think about these bigger picture things and I'm just like, it's just exhausting to think about and does my head in.
Well, it's greed. It's just all greed at the end of the day. It's these people are making stupid amounts of money from other people's despair and loss, really.
Yeah. So just going back to the prison system, sorry to go off on a tangent.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm just curious now. So these companies own the prisons. So are they effectively paying the government, or so the government makes revenue? So they pay the government for the prisoners, or the government pays the private companies to take them? I'm
not 100% sure how it gets. I think maybe they get a lot of money from the government. I don't know the logistics of how the money drips down into it, but I just know there's a crap load of money in privatisation of prisons.
Is there a workforce in the prison too? Don't they use them to make like license plates for cars and stuff?
They get like 2 cents an hour or something. License plate.
So cheap labour force.
And they're on the chain gang. Swing low.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, currency is different in prisons, I guess. You get paid whatever it is.
I actually thought they were more of a financial burden, but I mean, in Australia they definitely are because it's all taxpayers' money.
Yeah, New Zealand and Australia is different. I think it's all government. I'm guessing. Yeah, it's different kettle of fish. Yeah. It's mental. Man. Yeah, it's sad.
But look, listen, I got a question for you.
Yep.
You've got a new album.
Single release.
Okay, so like, tell me about that journey. Like, is it actually released, or are you still writing it? Or
it's all finished. It's all done. So it's coming out on the 27th, which is it? That's week after next.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 27th of September as an official release. It's called Long Way From Home, and the music video and everything else will be on all streaming services.
Great. Yeah. And I'll put the links to that in the description.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
cool.
That'll follow it around the various platforms.
It's got a good little video that was shot in Tokyo when I was there recently this year.
So you travelled to Japan a fair bit, yeah?
Yeah, well, this will be my 3rd year next year.
Why? Why Japan? Like, you got some sort of arrangement, or are you big in Japan?
I'm huge, mate. Huge. Literally huge.
Tall. When I went there, I was tall. I was on the subway and I was standing above people for the first time in my life.
Oh, mate, I'm 5'7" at a push.
I'm the same.
And fuck me, I love going to countries like Japan or Hong Kong. Where I'm like, I'm fucking king here.
Tall.
I'm king.
I am.
I'm King Kong.
I'm standing over people.
Yeah. But yeah, I just got onto a good thing with this in Nagano.
That's hilarious.
Area where it's for snow seasons. So
nice.
Yeah, so when it's wet season in Bali,
are you kidding me?
Yeah, so when it's wet season in Bali, get the fuck out. I go home, see my family, go to New Zealand. I hit Australia, catch up with friends, and then go straight to Japan for 6 weeks, and just snowboard every day and just
gigs by night.
Play a few gigs a week, and it's a working holiday basically.
Dude, do you live in the dream?
Mate, definitely when I'm in Japan. I mean, lifestyle in Bali is amazing, but when I hit Japan, I'm like, holy shit, this is. I've gone from the beach, playing at sunsets in Bali, to some of the best powder in the world, to snowboarding, floating on this.
I've heard my brother-in-law. He's been there a few times and he's absolutely obsessed with the place. I think he tries to get back there once a year.
Oh, it's amazing. I love Japan's beautiful. And people are beautiful, and the culture is amazing. And very blessed to have that gig every year. I'll be milking that for as long as I can. But while I was there last year, at the last minute, I was kind of like, okay, this is my 2nd year of being here, and I'm like, I should take it, because I always go into Tokyo for like a week or 5 days just to hang out and hit the restaurants, smash heaps of sake and stuff. But and I was like, okay, well, I might as well. I should do a music video while I'm here. So I've got a friend of mine, Anatoly. He's a professional photographer there. He's from England, but he's living in Japan for like 15 years or something. So I messaged him and said, look, I'm in Japan. Do you want to shoot a music video in a couple of weeks? And he's like, yep, let's do it. So I met him in Tokyo, and then for 3 nights, cold fucking nights. It was like 3 or 4 degrees, still winter, and was running around the streets shooting this music video. So it's
dude, and you seem pretty excited about it. Like, just before the podcast, I was talking to you and some of our communication and looking at your press release and stuff. Like, why the excitement? I mean, I know you've put a lot of work in, but what does this feel a bit more special than other things you've done?
I think I'm more excited about the music video. I think it's
You're really happy with it?
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think Anatoly did an amazing job. The cinematography, and he's just a really good photographer. He's got a really good eye for he's from the old school film, So there's no digital. You just look through the viewfinder, and you've got to know your shit. And
what are we talking in terms of film? Like 35 mil?
Yeah, 35 mil. So he's old school headshots to stuff like that. So he knows his shit inside out from the manual, And like these days, it's just all shooting point. which is nothing wrong with that. So him when he got all these shots through Tokyo, because he lives there, he just knew all the shots, all the money shots to get and all the places to go. He it's just beautifully shot. Like, we had no plan. I just said let's just go to some places where
Shibuya.
Yeah, Shibuya, Shinjuku, all the go-to touristy sort of places. And I said, let's just get on rooftops. Let's just fire away. I'll just sing to the song, and then we'll think about how we're going to cut it later. No real plan. And so he beautifully shot it, did some amazing footage. And then a good friend of mine, Stoodley in New Zealand, which I've worked with in the past. I've done a few music videos with him, done some projects. And he's probably the top music video director in New Zealand.
Wow. And
he's won a lot of awards. He gets flown around all around the world now to do a lot of stuff, like in America and in England and stuff like that. So I messaged him and said, hey mate, can you fucking hook me up? Hook me up. He's not cheap these days, I'll tell you, and he's worth every penny. But he helped me out. He said, okay, let's send the footage over, and we'll and he just, I didn't really have any changes. He sent back the cut, and I was like, perfect. Nice. So I'm just really happy with it. I mean, to be honest, the song, it's an old song, because like at the time when because it was a last minute thing, I was like, fuck, I don't have any new material. And I was like, okay, well, I released an album like quite a few years back. So I was like, oh, right, I'll just use an old song. So A Long Way From Home, yeah, that sounds about right for a Tokyo, a white boy running around Tokyo. So that'll do. But yeah, I think I'm just more excited about the video. I think it's quite, and I love Japan. It's just such a cool place. So
it's fun.
Yeah, so I'm quite proud of it. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I mentioned Shibuya, I remember I went out to a nightclub in the city, and then we stayed out just a little bit too long.
You always stay out too
long. And then I missed the last train. I had to wait till the next first trains for 5 or 6 a.m. or something, and I remember I slept on a bench at that big intersection in Shibuya, and it was really...
Should have gone to a love hotel, mate.
Mate, I found it so hard to get around there. Like,
yeah.
I mean, the language, and then all the signs, I found it really difficult. There was no English translations.
Did you have Google Maps back at that point?
No, this was before Google Maps.
Yeah, see,
yeah.
I'm sort of... I love travelling, but you go for a piss.
I do. Sorry, keep going.
Why don't you push pause, mate, and we can get back to
it? No, this is part
of
it.
Just piss in the pool, mate.
Dude, it's called Podcast Survivor. This is not the first time.
Yeah, we've got a couple of empty cans here.
Keep going.
What was I talking about? Fucking hell. Train of thought.
Before Google Maps or
yeah,
Google.
So, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty shit with travelling, but... tell you what, Google Maps is great. You just type, like in Tokyo, you just type in where you want to go, and it tells you... tells you what train to get on, what to get off, what station to be at.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no excuse not to travel these days.
I didn't know Google Maps did that.
Oh, everything.
You
just type in where you want to go, and it gives you actually a list.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Do you want to end the podcast?
Well, no, listen,
on that note.
No. Listen, we've got two options here, because this isn't the first time this has happened to me on the podcast, right?
Right.
And I try not to drink coffee before the podcast.
Why don't we take a break?
We can press pause.
Yeah, we'll push pause.
Or I can just leave you with the microphone, and you can just talk about stuff. Maybe. Oh my God, you beatbox, dude.
No, I can't.
Dude, that's beatboxing.
I used to piss off the school teachers for doing that, because all the Māori boys at school, they're sitting there in math going...
Is that beatboxing?
I don't know. It's just...
Dude, I'll try and sing over it. I've always wanted to be a hip-hop rapper. Yeah, I gotta piss. Yeah, bro, I gotta piss. I'm busting. I tried to not drink coffee, but I drank bulletproof.
Go, push pause. We'll take a break.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Back, dude.
Oh, hang on. I need to go for a piss now. Nah, just kidding.
Sorry, man.
All good.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. So, Athron's into this as well. Bulletproof coffee.
Oh, yeah.
I think, it's
a cult. It's a cult thing now.
Is, but it's what I've learned because now I'm in my 40s. I'm starting to really take my health a lot more serious.
Yeah, as you do.
As you do, you know.
I'm in my 40s now, and
really?
Yeah.
And I've just found with the bulletproof, I intermittent fast 5 days a week, so I don't eat till midday, but I have a bulletproof in the morning. Yeah. And I'll tell you, man, I get more mental clarity than I've ever had when I just have a bulletproof coffee.
Wow.
and then no eating till midday. I've never.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Same. It took me a while to get used to it, but because a lot of my gigs I finish around 8:30.
Yeah.
So I'll have a meal at the venue. So my last meal's at 9. And then I won't eat till lunchtime the next day.
Gotcha.
And I'll wake up, have bulletproof, might go to the gym or do a little bit of a workout, or swim or something like that. And it took me a while to get used to that, not eating. But now if I go out for breakfast, I'm like, fuck, I have to force myself to eat if I go out for breakfast with friends.
Exact same.
So my body's gotten used to it now, and I'm happy. And apparently it's way better for you.
Well, we've been so programmed that breakfast is the most important.
3 meals a day.
It's the most important meal of the day, and it really I had to change that mentality because I've always you've got to have breakfast and.
Well, everyone's different as well. I think I've met people that have tried this intermittent fasting and it just doesn't work for their body. So I don't think there's one key factor. It's like some people go deep in the ketosis hole, right? Where you go into ketosis and then that burns off fat. But then some people, that doesn't work on them. It makes them feel sick or makes them feel worse. So I'm not going to go like, everybody should intermittent. But it's everyone I know that's doing it and they've been doing it for a while. They're like, wow, this is a game changer. It definitely works.
It's true. I try to avoid talking about food with people because it's like politics and religion.
Yeah, totally.
Everyone's has very strong opinions on
especially these days off you got your vegans, you've got anti everything. So I totally, especially if you're doing a podcast, you can get into a few arguments or something.
I remember
religion.
On one of my podcasts I was talking about this kind of thing like fasting, and I was actually with Dr. Changa, and I got a lot of private messages saying, like, I got some negative ones saying, you guys don't know what you're talking about, that doctor's full of shit. But then I got a lot of other people asking me questions, and I'm like, I'm no expert. I don't proclaim to be
you're in the public
expert.
Domain. So it doesn't matter who the fuck you are, and it doesn't matter how much experience. You could have a PhD in bullshit, but you're always going to... You're going to have your haters, and you're going to have your lovers, and it doesn't matter. It's because once you put it out in the public, you're selling out. As soon as you sell out, people are going to abuse you or
comes
love
with the territory.
Yeah. Totally.
How do you manage that?
I'm not big enough to have haters, mate.
Okay.
I think
you must get some feedback.
Sometimes. I mean, I think when you start getting the haters, you're like, yeah, I've made it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm making an impact. I mean, so far my career it's been pretty positive. I think I've had a couple of reviews in the past that might be average, but it's like, oh well, that's okay. Yeah, that's just another person's opinion. YouTube's a funny one because you get these armchair bandits and they're just wankers that they just want to go out there. Like I had one guy, I had a snippet of a live gig I did at Old Man's, and I had a loop, a guitar loop. Yeah, guitar.
I stalked you.
Yeah, guitar loop going on. Oh, that might have been the new one. There's a couple of other ones, but there was a guitar loop, and I had some wah-wah effect on my guitar, and someone goes, oh, this is an acoustic guitar. This is far from it. I was like, well, I'm playing for an acoustic. Yeah, but that's only 5% of the video. And by the way, it's pretty fucking average anyway or something. And I was like, oh, thanks for your feedback. Really appreciate it. Always give back the love. And I went to his channel, and and he's a guitarist, and he was horrible. It was So I was just like, oh.
But what gets me is when someone says, "Oh, it's pretty fucking average." Well, it's like, okay, can you be more specific?
Yeah.
Like, was it my finger work? Was it the way I was strumming? Yeah. Because I had one really negative, line of direct messaging, and it was like, I was your biggest fan, and then you did this podcast with this person, and then since then you flaked. Right, yeah. I'm like, all right.
But bands get that.
Fair enough, I flaked. But can you just tell me how I flaked?
Yeah,
like, was it my questioning? Was it? Can you just give me, like, can you be more explicit?
Yeah.
So, like, I guess musicians would...
Oh, totally. I mean, you look at long-term bands like, say, Metallica. Like, I was in Metallica right even from their first release. And it got up to about the Black Album. And that's when I pivoted off. And it's fun. That's cool. They're going in another direction. Yeah. But, I mean, they're one of these long-term bands. They got followers that are like this. So they've got fans that are like 60 years old or something. And I'm sure some of them are like, oh, fucking hell, the Metallica, they've just gone in a bad direction. It's like, no, they're just getting older. They're changing their ideas. They're changing their,
They're changing as people.
Yeah, changing as people. And you can't keep playing Enter Sandman for the rest of your life, or fucking Injustice for All.
I wish they could, though.
Yeah, yeah, but they had way better shit way before Enter Sandman. Trust me, the Black Album was good, but I was into Injustice for All and Kill 'Em All and all that sort of stuff.
Dude, I was on the same era. I remember that shit.
Yeah, but you got to evolve. I mean, that's cool. And then they got their new fans, but yeah. So going back to your podcast and having the haters, I mean, it's just if you don't like it,
I haven't had many, and not even haters really. Just
disagreeable people.
Yeah, well, people like opinions start to come out, and it's part of my learning journey, I think. But I noticed like you're quite big on social media.
I try to be.
I stalked you on YouTube and Instagram, and I was like, wow, this guy's got some serious followers.
Well, I try to. I see it as a full-time job. Like if I wasn't a musician, I wouldn't have a Instagram. I wouldn't post up anything. To be honest, it's really annoying. Like I don't want to have to go to a gig and film this and film that and that. But it's my job. I got to do it, and it helps me get work. So I invest back into I get professional photographers and videographers to come and record my gigs or do music videos and cut them and stuff, and I reinvest back. It's a business, even though I'm a musician and living the life in Bali and rock and roll, blah blah blah. I'm a one-man band, so I mean I've got to be a graphic designer, I've got to be a producer, I've got to be a sound engineer, I've got to be everything. So putting it back into, so it's a lot of work. It
is a lot of work. But do you find that then that is giving you ultimate control as well, and you don't have to compromise on anything because it's all you?
Sure, but I mean, I'm not big enough to really worry about that at the moment. I mean, when you start getting the hundreds of thousands of followers or something like that, when you start getting really like that big level, then you might have to worry about that stuff. But I'm still pretty small time. Yeah, I've got a bit of a following and stuff. But I mean, ultimately, I'd love to give all that shit away. I'd love to be signed by a label and just go, you know what, fucking you take care of all that admin shit.
So I just want to play music.
So I can just create, do it. Because it does take a lot of your time. Like,
and live in a mansion.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking.
But like, they're even just releasing the single. I mean, there's a lot of back end I've had to do, like a lot of the graphics, sorting out Facebook, Instagram and YouTube, doing the ads, the admin, press release, and there's so much back end work to do. I could just release it and just not worry about it, but it's just setting up stuff like, contacting you, hey man, do an interview with me, but I've got a release coming up, which I really appreciate. Contacting not hundreds, but a lot of blogs online saying, hey, I've got a release coming up, would you like to interview me, or da-da-da. So it's just chasing all that shit. I'm my own PR person as well. So
it's a lot of hours.
It's a lot of hours.
Like if you really tallied up the hours, like those, even just the text messages back and forth with me, if you tallied up that time, like it adds up for sure.
Well, even last night I got home from karaoke. I was a bit tired, but juiced up on fucking coffee and Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
But I was laying in bed and I was about, I'm not going to open my computer. And I was like, I had a bing on my phone. I was like, shit. And like, because I'm talking to people in America that are doing blogs, guys that are doing my social media or YouTube optimization and stuff. And you got guys in New York and stuff like that, and they're on a different time zone. And I have to reply to these guys, because if I don't, then shit ain't going to get done. So so here's me at 3 a.m, fucking replying, and then I'm looking at press releases or online blogs, going, oh, can you change this, change that? I'm like, fuck, I just want to go to bed. And it's like, it'd be great to have someone else to take care of it, but you know what? I mean, it keeps me busy. So I mean, it keeps your finger on the pulse, I guess, a little bit as well. Yeah,
it's definitely like forcing you to diversify your skills as well.
100%. I mean, jack of all trades, but a master of none. That's what I call myself. Really? So
yeah. I just I really admire anyone such as yourself who are really living their passion.
Yeah.
And like you said, you have to respond, because it's all you. You've got no one else to count on.
No.
And it's because it's driven. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's driven by this innate passion you have for making music and sharing it with the world.
Yeah, totally.
And that's the kind of way I personally would like to be busy as well.
Yeah.
Whereas I think a lot of people, and myself included, are busy serving someone else's vision.
Totally. Which there's nothing wrong with that, I think. But I know what you mean. But if you're creative and you want to give a bit of yourself to the world, I guess. And and that's what definitely pushes you along. You know, the ultimate goal for me is to, like, this is why I'm pushing myself, pushing my music, so I can do exactly what I want. I mean, I'm very fortunate to be playing these covers gigs at these beautiful locations, these beach clubs and stuff, and I'm getting paid good money for it and living in a nice house. But ultimately, I'd like to be touring the world, playing festivals, you know, playing to thousands of people. And there's nothing like walking onto a big stage with a big sound system and that energy. It's better than any fucking drug or alcohol.
I've heard that. I mean, I can't imagine.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
Is it addictive?
It is. The first taste I had of it was when I was 17, 18, and I was in a metal band called Silent Scream, and we played this rock festival called Mountain Rock, a local one out at Woodville, and we were kind of half original, half covers. So we're playing half our originals, and we played a couple of Slayer songs, Metallica, you know, that sort of shit. And I remember, I think we opened up with South of Heaven.
Right.
Slayer.
No way.
And I played the riff. No
way.
And I just remember hearing it out the front. I heard this juk juk. And I could hear it out the front going, what the fuck? All that power. For a 17-year-old, you're like,
wow.
Maybe 18, yeah. You're just going, what? And all this adrenaline's coming through your body. And it was during the day. We had a reasonable amount of people. It was like that were coming down. All the metal heads were screaming down. But playing that riff, and you got your full band behind you. We all got long hair, bogans, black jeans.
With like a proper PA.
Yeah, big, I don't know, 20,000, 30,000, whatever it was.
I know the ones.
And when we kicked in, it was just like, holy shit, this power that's coming. And all the endorphins, all that adrenaline and pumping through my body, it was over in a second.
Yeah.
And I think that I've been chasing the dragon ever since. You know, that feeling was just kicked my ass emotionally and spiritually and artistically. So I guess I've been chasing that dragon my whole life. Yeah.
And is that what you continue to chase, or are you chasing?
100%. Yeah.
What about from a creative perspective? Are you trying to improve your skills, singing, writing?
I think writing, definitely.
Musical.
Singing, I'm always trying to improve live and stuff like that. I'm pretty happy with my singing. I think I can definitely, you can always improve on it. Creative wise, yeah, definitely. This year I've been sort of like wanting to collaborate with more people, working on slightly different projects, and definitely creatively, you know, because if you keep doing the same thing, you get the same results, and I want to pivot off into other areas like electronic music and stuff like that.
Well, that's funny you should mention that, because my next question is, how would you describe the genre of your music?
My personal stuff or the electronics?
Your personal stuff.
Oh, my personal stuff. At the moment, I guess it's sort of pop folky sort of stuff, I guess. I mean, this latest single that's coming out, it's got a bit of a country sort of twist, acousticy pop folk.
Okay.
I guess. I've gone back to my rock roots. So I'm working on an EP at the moment with electric guitars and distortion. So I've got some releases coming up next year, because I've been doing acoustic stuff for so long. Like a lot of my releases have been acoustic bass with drums and bass and keyboards and stuff. But I've gone back to my rock roots, guitars, bass and drums, and that's it. So I've got a...
why is that? Like, why is that?
Just power, pure power. And it's
is it just pure enjoyment?
Yeah, we're trying to find that passion again. I think it was tapering off a little bit. I was like, what's happening here? Do I want to keep doing this? And da-da-da. And then... and it's just trying to find that spark or that fire again. That little bit of... and then ignite it and...
Yeah. I mean, how important do you think it is for a musician to reinvent themselves in terms of having a sustainable career?
It's definitely important. I mean, you look at David Bowie. I mean, he's an ultimate chameleon. Mate, he's had so many different eras, and then he'd be someone in some era. Then he's like, right, I'll finish with you. I'm gonna be a different character now. I mean, his career was insane, and he could keep reinventing himself. And I'm sure there'll be haters, his old fans, be like, "Oh fuck you! Why are you being Ziggy or something, or whatever it is?" But he's like, "Oh no, I'm just following my passion." But it worked right to the end. It worked for him. So it's definitely important. I mean, some people, you look at U2. I mean, they've kept on doing what they do. Not saying they're doing exactly recycling the same thing, but that's worked for them. I mean, they've evolved in certain ways. They've definitely gone through the eras, like Zoo TV was their electronic-y sort of thing, and yeah, they had their different eras. But yeah, definitely reinventing yourself, or I think collaborating with other people can be a big thing. Like because I've been solo for so long, I haven't collaborated a lot over the last few years. So this year it's my mission to bring in more songwriters, that you can work with.
Yeah.
That's really important because they bring in fresh ideas. When you're just working with yourself in the studio, you're just recycling old ideas and yeah.
Okay. Who are your current influences? Who do you regard as someone that's influencing your music right now? Or, even your early influences, but what are some bands or some people that you would really consider someone that influenced you?
It's funny, I don't listen to a lot of music at the moment for the last couple of years. I mean, I chuck on Spotify, but I've been listening to a lot of Black Keys, Kaleo, that sort of dirty, bluesy sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's inspired me to go back to my rock roots a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah, a little bit of that. I mean, in high school, I was really into like Led Zeppelin, The Doors, Deep Purple. Then you got the Metallica and Slayer and Megadeth, and so yeah, I was a bit of a rock bunny growing up. So I think I need to revisit those a little bit. But then I got the flip side of I love electronic music, so I've got that side project Shaker Zulu, which is fun. It's just like who gives a fuck.
That's amazing.
I'm just going to do what I want. There's no rules. I'm not. It's not precious.
Yep.
So I just do what the fuck I want. And like the first EP we brought out, me and my mate Andy Keys, he just came in. I pre-made the beats, and I said, he's an amazing keyboard player. He can play the bass and the keyboard lines at the same time. So let's just do it live. Let's cut this live. We've got five drum beats. Sort of, that chord progression work. Let's just go hit record. And then I went back and just cut up and re-edited. So the first EP, Shaker Zulu EP, is all pretty much live. Recently I did one with a couple of local guys, a percussionist and a keyboard player here, and that was covers, like sort of rehashed covers, but in a deep house sort of feel. So that's just a bit of a music vacation for me. I just do what the fuck I want, and we might be doing some live stuff actually with that project.
Sounds epic.
Yeah, so that I'm quite excited about that one because it's might be doing some live beats with acoustic guitar and keys and percussion. So so that's something that could be coming up in the very close future.
Sounds cool, man. Yeah. I know that growing up, for me, it was all about the Beastie Boys. I just loved them.
Oh, yeah.
And they were really, in my mind, they were really diverse as well. Like, they were hip-hop, but then they would, like...
They're really good musicians. Good musicians.
I mean, I've seen them live 2 or 3 times, and I mean, I've been to loads of music festivals. In Australia, we had the big one called Big Day Out. Yeah, I think I went to New Zealand as well. New Zealand's out there, yeah. I mean, that was like so formative for me going to those. I went to my first one when I was like 14.
Wow.
And that was in 1994. Guess who played at that? Little band called Nirvana.
Oh,
and at the time, I didn't even give a shit about them.
Yeah,
I was like, Nirvana, And then my mate's like, they've got that album. It's got the baby on the front.
Oh, never mind.
It's got the baby on the front chasing. I was like, that's a pretty cool.
But you did get to see them.
I was right up the back, like just going, why is everyone going so crazy about it?
Still got bragging rights.
But then it was like, and then I remember 1996. Silverchair played.
Yeah, I saw them. I saw them a Big Day Out.
In Sydney?
In Auckland, New Zealand.
I
remember when Frog Stomp first came out. Tomorrow. What do you do tomorrow?
Yeah, they played all those.
And he was like...
He was the same age as me, and he was like 16 or something on stage.
Oh, mate. And he was just like... What was his name again?
Daniel Johns. Yeah.
He sort of came out at 17. It was a Big Day Out in the Super Top, and there was thousands of people. He's like... Hey, how's it going? Yeah. He was real timid and just like, and then these kids just stomped it out. I was like, what the fuck? These guys are really fucking good.
But you know what I did? Because I was 16, I just thought I was so cool. I just stood up the back going, well, there was a big, because I'm right into skateboarding, there was a big skate demo, and I was hanging with all the pro skaters because I was more interested in that. And they came on, and you know what I said? I went, Oh man, they're just Nirvana wannabes.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty. I did actually.
They really were.
I thought that
Come on.
back then because I was
Yeah.
I was a metalhead back then. So I was just like, I did appreciate it, but I was just like, yeah, you just want to be Kurt Cobain,
Yeah,
don't you?
I think everyone did.
Yeah.
Because they were so...
Got your
they
flannel.
made such an impact.
Take your flannel and your raspy voice. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, here's a quick story. Like, I don't know how much time you've got. But,
Yeah. What's the time?
mate, it's been epic. Like, it's been an hour and 46 minutes.
Ooh, yeah, I've got to leave for my gig in about 20 minutes, half an hour.
No
Yeah,
worries,
that's-
dude.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I get it. You're a busy man.
Busy man, got shit to do, mate. Got
Wow.
cops to avoid.
Do you still get excited before a gig?
These sort of gigs, it's work.
Okay.
It's work. You kind of, I call it I don't want to put it down, but you kind of wallpaper gigs, you know?
Dude.
You kind of, you got people sipping cocktails in their tang and
I've got to know,
sunset.
do you get tourist groupies? Come on.
not really.
Come on.
You kind of get the odd one, but it's different. Like in New Zealand, like when I used to play in Irish bars and stuff, and so 10, 11 at night, everyone's pissed, and yeah, that's where you get the groupies. But I'm playing beach bars, I'm playing beach clubs and shit. So it's once the sun goes down, a lot of people are gone. I mean, yeah.
They go home, go out, get ready to go out and get changed. And
Yeah,
go
it's
out.
not really a groupie thing.
So you're doing sunset sessions.
Like 90% of my gigs are at the sunset. So yeah, so when the sun goes down, you're pretty much just about finished. You have your dinner and you go home.
Those sunsets are so epic, though, aren't they?
Oh yeah,
Like they never get old.
No, and I play in front of them all the time. I have to turn around a lot of the time because I forget that I'm playing them. So I'll be turning around going, oh yeah, there's a beautiful massive fireball behind me I've got to check out.
Yeah, that's interesting. No, but you just sparked a memory. Athron.
Athron's home. Athron's
Legendary
home.
Athron.
Yeah.
I remember when Silverchair played at the Big Day Out, I think it was 1996.
Yeah, that
and
sounds
we were
about right.
hanging at the skate park, and it wasn't in the main arena. It was like behind the main arena in a big sort of not car park, but a big open area. And I'll never forget, dude. Some guy was tripping on acid or something, and you know those big light poles, for the arena lights,
Yeah,
like
the
the
massive. Yeah,
and they've got like ladders on them,
Yeah,
attached to them.
they're like fucking 10 stories high or something
Dude,
stupid.
like ridiculous,
He
right?
climbed up
I'll never
there.
forget, man. He's tripping on acid, and then all of a sudden, like Silverchair just sort of stopped mid-song, and they just looked up, and there's this guy halfway up, and the security are down the bottom going, "Just get down!" And then he got to the top, and by this time, everyone is just like, and there was like a bar like hanging where the lights were off, and he got on the bar and he started swinging on the bar, and the whole place was like, he's gonna die. But, like, he was so high. Like, in hindsight, it would have been, I don't know, 5 or 6 stories high.
Holy shit.
Higher.
So how did he get down?
And then he sort of was climbing up there and just swinging, and then he like climbed back down, and he got down and he got to the bottom. And then everyone's just like, whoa, and just like a whole round of applause.
Wow.
And then Silverchair just started playing
The
again.
security punched him in the head and dragged him.
You would have, because back then the security had no rules,
Yeah, they just beat the fuck out of you.
They
back
would
in the
have,
old
yeah.
days,
And then I think that same festival, the Prodigy played.
You're right, yeah.
And I remember seeing a guy try to crowd surf, and I remember watching these bouncers just brutally pull him into that space between the stage,
Yeah.
and just beat the shit out of him. But that would never happen now.
Shit, no. Fuck, no. Yeah, everyone's
many
got
rules.
cameras.
And cameras.
Fuck, man, you can't get away with anything now. There's like Big Brothers everywhere. We've got Big Brother in our pockets, so it's just like, fuck.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. It's not like the old rock and roll days. You could get away with a lot more. These days, it's like, yeah.
It's a little bit sterile now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you could get away with a lot more. Like some of the shit we used to do when we were partying, it's just like, fuck.
I know.
Yeah, it's just like you had snap cameras, like films. Like, no one's going to bring around a big booty camera. But now you got phones. It's like, be careful.
Do you think the magic's lost though?
I think the mystery's gone. Definitely. Back in the old days, it's just like, yeah, there's something cool about having mystery with like a Jim Morrison or just some of these old bands or musicians. When you got mystery, you're a bit more enticing and stuff. Now these days, everyone's just like, yeah, g'day, social media. You make a cunt of yourself, and then there's no mystery.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to roll with the times, but
Because for me, I must admit, and this is probably age setting in, when I go to a gig now, like a big gig, a festival, whatever, and then just see this like sea of mobile phones up in the air,
that's insane,
and people watching through their screen.
Yeah.
I just kind of go, it's just not quite the same.
It's just a habit. People got into a habit of like, I want my friends to see what I'm seeing, and that's why they do it. They're just, my friends will love this, and I'll post it up.
But why do they want to do that?
Because they want the likes, mate. They want the likes. I don't know. Yeah, it's mental. They should have they need to invent a jammer at gigs. So, but I don't know. Like you switch the button, and anyone that's filming it just.
But bands must like it too, because then if someone posts that and then hashtags it.
Well, I think the smaller,
promotion.
I think the lower to mid-range bands would love it because it could go viral. But some of these big bands, I've seen them on YouTube. Like, dude, watch the fucking concert, man.
Yeah.
You know, like Dave Grohl's famous for it. You know, he's like, there's some guy at the front, you know, holding his cell phone up, and he's going, "Come on, mate, put the phone down and just watch the gig." Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, in the future, we're going to have phones that'll be connected to our iris or something, so we won't have to. We can just film. You know, you
can just like punch yourself in the eye.
Yeah,
turns the video on.
Well, it might be a blink.
Poke yourself in the eye.
Well, it'd be a Neuralink. I think Elon Musk is sorting out that Neuralink, where it's just you can access information from the internet and it goes straight into your brain. Information, boom. Dude, he's inventing it, mate.
You're blowing my mind.
Yeah, man. I love all that geeky shit. It's fun. Yeah, I love it.
Do you get your self-worth from how many likes you get?
No. The only reason why I look at likes is to check my engagement. It's more of an analytical thing.
It's a marketing tool.
It's a marketing tool. So I'm like, fuck, I didn't get many likes. Okay, well, what do I need to improve on these posts? Okay, maybe I need to put a bit more information. Maybe the photo was shit. It's more of an analytical thing. I don't give a fuck about
You're not
likes.
socialising.
No, I don't give a shit, man. Like my Facebook page, it's more for family and friends, and I don't post much personal stuff on there. I might, now and again I will, but even my information, people put, I'm in a relationship, I've been to this school, this is my family. I don't give Facebook any of that information. It's very, very bland and simple. Yeah. But the likes. But I heard Instagram are going to be they might be ripping off all the likes system.
I love that idea.
Yeah. But
oh, sorry.
The influencers probably won't like it.
That's what I meant. Is it going to be detrimental to their business to do that, though?
Well, I think they're doing it for mental health reasons.
It's great. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, you can buy likes. It's fucked. Yeah, they've got bots that can buy.
And there's an algorithm there too. If people are dedicated enough to work it out. And
well, I definitely think mental health has probably skyrocketed a lot more since social media, especially with young kids. These cyberbullying. Why didn't my photo go viral like this other girl at school and stuff like that? I mean, it's really sad. You've got to be really careful, especially with kids. I mean, you're a school teacher. You'd know more about this than I would.
Oh, it's horrendous. Yeah. I've seen it, especially back home in Australia in the public system. So many issues arise from mobile phones and social networking. So
I think it creates anxiety. It creates
even in me.
Depression. Yeah,
definitely. You've sort of mentioned mental health a few times. I mean, is this an area that you're interested in?
I've just got a lot of friends that suffer from it. So depression, anxiety. Yeah, and so I'm surrounded. I personally don't suffer from it, but I'm very. I empathise a lot with it. I've got friends that. Some of them suffer really bad from panic attacks and stuff like that. So I'm always keeping an eye out for the next fix or the next idea of like CBD oil or kratom or stuff like that, and something that can help my friends and other than pharmaceuticals. But but I don't know. I don't know if it's just because social media is making it more aware, but so many more people seem to be suffering from it. But are we only made more aware of it, or is it going? I have no idea. I don't know the stats. But
I mean, it's hard to ignore.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I'm actually with you. I really notice it more than ever. But also, with my job, I'm working with teenagers. For now 14 or 15 years, I see it in them. I've seen a change from when I first started teaching.
Yeah, with
now.
Technology, you've noticed
definitely.
it.
Definitely. I've noticed this behavioural change. But I've also I'm a health teacher, so we look at health epidemiology in the senior grades, and we look at health statistics for different countries in the world.
Right.
And mental health illnesses are quadrupling per annum globally, and especially in westernised countries.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we look at Australia predominantly, and it's just hard to ignore. And then if you break that down too, young males are the most at risk of self-harm, suicide, or substance abuse, or violent behaviour. And I just think, but then if you look at it from the 1900s, and it just gradually grows. But I guess times have changed. It's being diagnosed more. But what really is noticeable around the 70s, 80s, there's this huge spike.
Ah, okay.
And, you know, if you look at historically what was going on in the world around that time, it was, you know, television. And,
I was going to say television,
and
definitely.
this push towards mass consumerism.
Yeah.
That was really taking off around those times, and it just got predominantly like worse and worse.
Yeah, just being brainwashed to have this perfect life. It's just like, okay, you got to have the awesome car, the latest gadgets or whatever it is, and make good money and go out for dinner. You better,
yeah,
pressure,
feelings of inadequacy. Like,
this
could
definitely
be a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, totally.
And you've got to go to a gig.
Yeah, I've got to go, man. I've got to get set up.
What I will say, man, is like, thanks so much for being on.
Thank you.
You'll be episode 20.
20, woo!
And
2 decades.
But like, it's a big thing for me. Like, I haven't.
It's a milestone.
It's 20 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's been such a journey for me. And I was actually, for each guest, I've sort of. I know you're sorry to talk too much, but I'm letting this process happen where sometimes the guests just happen and organically and the guests sort of find me. I'll reach out sometimes, but then there'll be some that fall through, then there'll be some that happen, and I'm just a true believer that the people who are meant to be on are the right ones.
Awesome.
And in this case,
synergy.
for you, it was really happening. And now that we've had the podcast, I really enjoyed it, and
cool, man.
feel that you were so
Thank
good
you.
for it. And I really hope that some people out there identify and enjoy it, and they can find your links at Facebook, Instagram.
Just type in Phil Stoodley.
Phil Stoodley.
Stoodley. It's a very uncommon name, but just check it out. I'm on all the social media. I'm a whore for social medias, so I'm not hard to find, mate.
You might have to give me some tips.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Definitely.
High five, man.
Thanks, man.
Legend.
Woo!
All right.
Rock and roll. I'm off to work.
Enjoy your gig.
Thanks, man.
See you, brother. Let's catch up soon. See you, mate.